Takashi is thinking about his memories as a child when Rei tells Takashi that she will be his wife, and that is a pinky promise. But soon they started to fall apart and Rei got closer to Hisashi. Seiya jumps in and tells him how dumb he is. Whenever he has problems, he comes to the same spot looking all annoyed. She calls him stupid and leaves. Takashi notices that someone is trying to come inside the high school from the other side of the gate. All the faculty are confused by who this person is and why he is acting strange. One of the faculty members approaches the gates, holds his collar, and gets bitten by the man who is a zombie. He yelled and died inside the high school and then came back to life in a minute or so, which is what the other faculty thought. He started biting other faculty and everyone became a zombie. Takashi ran to his class and asked Rei to get up and leave immediately with him, to which Hisashi asked what was happening. Takashi explained that someone was attacking the school gate, and it was not safe there anymore. Rei, upon not listening to Takashi, gets slapped by him and they try to go get some weapons that could help them defend themselves. Meanwhile, there is an announcement made that the students should follow their teacher's instructions and leave the school immediately. The announcer gets killed, which freaks out the whole school. Everyone starts running and most of them end up killing themselves or dying in an accident, while others turn into zombies. Meanwhile, Takashi, Rei, and Hisashi see their teacher, Wakasawa, who is turned into a zombie and attacked Rei. She pushes him far but he closes on her. So, Hisashi steps in and holds his teacher backward. To his surprise, his teacher turned his neck behind him and bit him. Takashi steps in and destroys his sensei's head with a bat, killing him completely. They see that the whole school is full of zombies now and the only place they can go is on the rooftop. Upon reaching the rooftop, they see that the whole of Japan is out of order, and there are a lot of accidents, smoke, and zombies all around the school and nearby places. They are devastated seeing everyone like that, and zombies even come up to the roof. Back to the starting point, they seek to go for a higher place, get to the highest place on the roof of the school, and block the entry with chairs and boxes. Hisashi starts coughing up blood and realizes that he will turn into a zombie himself. Rei is worried sick for Hisashi and keeps calling up for Takashi, telling him that Hisashi is not okay. Hisashi asks Takashi for help and Takashi asks for what Hisashi says if he can jump from there his head will surely get crushed and die. He asks Takashi to kill him before he turns into a zombie, but it was too late. Hisashi turned into a zombie and Takashi had no choice but to crush his head and kill him. Rei gets mad and yells at Takashi that she didn't want him to save her. She would have been fine if she had been dead, and in the same place as Hisashi she accuses Takashi that he must have hated him. Takashi goes to the entrance which they blocked with chairs and boxes and starts opening it while saying that he thinks he is bothering her so he will go crush some more heads. Rei holds him and tells him that she didn't mean it and hugs him. Students are running away from zombies in the hallway. Takagi and Kyoto pair up and runs away from the zombies. Kyoto suggests that they go to the staff office, which Takagi is against. Takagi asks Kyoto if he wants to die or if he wants to live. She asks him to see in the staff room that there are already students banging on their doors. Takagi and Kyoto witness that staff members turned into zombies and killed the students who were banging on the doors. Meanwhile, Rei asks Takashi for his phone so she can call her dad. Her dad picks her up and warns her to leave the city as soon as possible, and the phone gets cut off. Kyoto and Takagi are still looking for ways to get to a safer place. By that time, in the infirmary, the nurse Shizuka, who is very clumsy, is stuck with a student who is protecting her. The force of the zombies on them gets large, but to their surprise, Siko comes to their rescue, but the student ends up getting bitten. She introduces herself to that student and asks if he knows what will happen next and tells him that she is going to kill him, to which the student replies, "Please do." Meanwhile, Kyoto and Takagi escape to an engineering classroom where they find a variety of tools. Kyoto makes a gun with a drilling machine which ends up saving their lives. Rei and Takashi come up with the plan to escape from the roof by using water hose power to repel zombies far away, and then attack them to finish them off. Takagi throws a wet cloth near a door, to which the zombie reacts. She found out that zombies can't see anything, they only react to sounds. By that time, the other zombies had approached them from the back. Kyoto tried his best to shoot all the zombies, but one zombie ended up near Takagi, and she yelled out a scream. Rei, Takashi, Shizuka, and Siko rushed to them. Takagi picked up the nearby screwdriver and pinned it to the zombie's face. All four come down and reach them. They work together to save Kyoto and Takagi from the zombies. When all the zombies in that classroom get wiped out, they start to introduce themselves, to which Takagi yells at them. She is still in disbelief and shock at what she just did. Siko confronts Takagi and she cries until she calms down. They reach the teacher's room and block the door with all the heavy stuff they could. They all took a break. Takagi washed her face and everyone was resting and planning what they could do to go out. Siko asked Shizuka if she had a car and if they could all fit in it. Shizuka replied that she did, but everyone wouldn't fit in it. So Siko suggested the miniature bus that their school uses. They all decide to pay a visit to their family to check if they are okay or not. While Rei plays the television and they get to know that the whole of Japan is doomed. They get to know that not only Japan is suffering from this but the whole of the USA too. Rei is scared and she tells them that the whole world changed in just a few hours, but there will be a safe place for us too. To which Takagi replies that it's not possible and the current situation that they are in is far worse, and it's a similar situation to a pandemic. It's like a disease from an old era where millions died. To which the school nurse Shizuka agrees and says it's very fatal. Takashi asks how they found the cure or survived, to which Shizuka replies that there are a lot of theories, but the most effective one is that no one was alive to spread such diseases. But in our case, the dead are the ones who are spreading them. With that, they get ready to leave the room. They stumble upon a few students who are fighting the zombies and need help. Everyone rushes to their aid and saves them, and they all get blocked in the stairway. Takagi says we don't even have to fight them, we just don't need to make them see us. But Siko disagrees and asks if there is someone who will prove her point right. Takashi says he will and gets down in between the zombies and will not make any sound, and the zombies won't notice him, which will prove Takagi's theory. Takashi picks up a shoe and throws it away to lure the zombie by sound. Meanwhile, everyone comes down to escape through the gate. But one of the students who was saved had this rod that made noise and all the zombies ended up killing him. Takashi yelled and says run, and everyone started running. Zombies were chasing them and the students who were saved by them all died before they got to the miniature bus. They were ready to leave, but they see a few other students running towards them with teacher Shido. Those students and Shido reach the bus, but one of the students sprains his ankle and gets eaten up. They quickly started the bus, ran through the main gate, and successfully escaped from the school grounds. Shido asks who is the leader of their group, to which Siko replies that they don't have one and have escaped through teamwork. Rei is opposed to saving Shido and says that they will regret letting him on the bus. Suddenly one of the students who came with Shido started yelling, why are they going on their own? Shouldn't they find a better place to settle down in school, or maybe in the convenience store that we just crossed? Siko asks him what he wants to do, to which he points to Takashi and says he can't stand him. Takashi asks him what he even did to him, and he charges at Takashi. Rei stands up and swings her pole at him to protect Takashi. Shido stands up and tells them that they have nice teamwork, but they need a team leader for these types of situations. To which Takagi asks who will be the leader. Shido says he is the most senior and their teacher, so he would be perfect for this role. Rei gets angry and comes out of the bus and refuses to go with Shido at all costs. Takashi comes out of the bus to convince Rei to not act this way, and that they should come together. But suddenly another bus comes ramming away, whose passengers are all dead or zombies, and crashes around the tunnel, separating Takashi Rei from the rest of their friends. Takashi tells Siko from the other side to meet at the Easter police station, if not today, then tomorrow. A biker attacks them who is a zombie. They survive and kill him. They find his bike a few yards away and are now using it to travel their journey. Takashi is narrating the moments that happened on X Day, the day that doomed humanity for life. He is talking about how he lost his best friend and how many of them suffered mentally. Takashi and Rei are in the middle of the road on the bike they picked up, and Rei says, do you think anyone will come to save us? Takashi replies, no. You saw those helicopters right as they saw us and didn't bother to help. We just have to look out for ourselves. To which Rei gets mad and says he's always negative, and Takashi yells that he's just stating the truth. A few zombies approach them from behind, so they start the bike and leave. They are wandering the streets and have frowned at all the destruction that has been done in the city. They see half of the police car with active headlights, get happy, and approach the car. But they see that the policeman is dead and the car got into an accident with the truck. Takashi tells Rei to stay away from the car, there might be a gas leak or something. To which Rei says, screw it, we need all the weapons we can have. She approaches the police car and finds a revolver, handcuffs, and a torch. She asks Takashi if he knows how to use a gun. To which he replies, I don't know, I have seen them used in movies before. Takashi unloads the revolver and sees that he has 5 shots. Meanwhile, Rei goes and fetches the bullet from the corpse for Takashi. He is surprised to see what she did, and she can see that all over his face. She says that after all this happened today, she isn't scared of blood anymore. They leave for the gas station to fuel up their bike. Rei asks if there will be enough gas left for them or not. Takashi says every gas station has at least enough fuel to fill up 1,000 cars. Takashi notices that they are at a self-service station, and they can only use it if they can use cash or swipe a card. Ray says, then what are you waiting for? Do it. Takashi replies that he bought juice before and only has 30 yen left. Takashi asks Ray for money but she says she left her wallet in her bag. Takashi asks Ray to wait beside the gas station and yell if something happens. He goes into the gas station store and finds the cashier's desk. He sees that it's locked so he breaks it with his bat. While Ray yells loudly and Takashi comes to her rescue. He sees that Ray is being groped by a thug with a knife to her neck. Takashi tells him that he should let Ray go, to which the thug replies, are you an idiot to live in a world like this? He needs a woman. Takashi asks if he is mad and Takashi approaches him with a bat, to which the thug says not a step further or she will be dead, and he will also be taking their bike. He tells Takashi that he just broke the cash register, used that money to fill up the bike tank, and throw away the bat. Takashi fills up the bike's fuel tank while making small talk with the thug about letting them go because they want to see their parents. The thug points his knife at him and tells him to shut up and leave. Takashi had the revolver on his waist. He charged at Thug and pulled out the revolver on his chest and said even he wouldn't miss from this close. Thug said there's the whole gas station behind him and he wouldn't dare use it. Takashi said it's a lot better than giving you my girl and shot him. He fell to the ground barely alive, screaming that he was in pain. Ray was very angry and went to kill the thug, to which Takashi replied, let him be, we need to leave. The noises they made surely would have attracted a lot of zombies. They leave the gas station, and the thug ends up getting eaten by the other zombies. The co-pilot says to the pilot that he has done checking the passengers, none of them are infected zombies or dead, and they are good to go. The pilot asks him if his family lives in Tokyo, to which he replies that his parents didn't pick up the phone. Rika, with her sniper aiming at zombies and her friend telling her the location of wind and permission to fire, clears the zombies that have been on the runway so the airplane can take off. The airplane takes off successfully and Rika stands up and starts removing her chest guard because her melons are sore from all day being in the sniping position. Her friend asks her to let him massage her melons, to which she replies only if he can get a better shot than her. He says it's impossible because she comes in the top 5 officers in the whole country. Meanwhile, in the miniature bus, Shido is giving his speech to the students and Takagi wakes Kyoto from his sleep. They both see an airplane fly away. Takagi says they are probably going to Hokkaido or Kyushu because those places would be easier to take control of. She says that first we need to take care of Shido only if she has someone she can trust. She says only if Takashi was here too. Kyoto asks doesn't she like Takashi. She gets flustered and starts calling him an idiot, whereas Shizuka and Siko are staring at her from behind. Meanwhile, Ray and Takashi see that the road ahead is full of chaos and everyone is going mad and saying that it's worse than war. Takashi tells Ray to hold tightly and starts driving. People who have gone mad start attacking them with bottles, shotguns, etc. They escape without getting hurt. Takashi doesn't go to the bridge after seeing the chaos that has been made on it, so they go from another route. On the bus, Shido continues his speech to his students, and Takagi says that they are a cult now and are done with it. Siko says she needs to keep her promise to Takashi and meet him if the bridge is occupied, then maybe from some other route. Takagi asks if she is not worried about her parents, to which she replies she only has her overseas father. Kyoto says the same, both of his parents are overseas. Shizuka says both her parents are dead and all her relatives stay far away. And they all decide to leave the bus. Takagi says that they won't be traveling with Shido anymore and that they will leave. Shido replies, sure, after all, Japan is a free country, but he tries to stop Shizuka from leaving. To which Kyoto shoots his nail gun at him and says he won't miss it. But that was a warning and he doesn't care if Shido dies because he treated him very poorly in high school. And they all leave. Kyoto, Takagi, Shizuka, and Siko has their walls behind them against zombies, but suddenly Takashi and Ray come to their rescue and save them. With their teamwork, they clear out all the zombies in that area. Shizuka recommends that they go to her friend's home because she has her keys, and so they do. The girls undress and go to take a bath together. While Ray and Shizuka are in the bathtub, Siko and Takagi are washing themselves off. They are playing with each other and having fun in the bathroom, making weird noises. Takashi says to Kyoto that they are having a lot of fun. Aren't they? Meanwhile, they are also trying to break a locker. Takashi and Kyoto successfully break into the locker and find out there are various types of guns and ammunition in it. Kyoto is going insane with his gun knowledge and is super happy to see all those guns. He says it's illegal to have these guns, but it's not illegal to have separate parts of these guns. It's illegal only if they combine them to form a gun. He also says he was trained to use guns by the Delta Force captain in America. Takashi is looking at the bridge. All the sound is coming from the bridge. People on the bridge are going insane. Even the police communication line was cut off. Everyone there is panicked. The last order the police got was to do anything to keep them safe, even if it means sacrificing the living ones. Kyoto notices that there is a news reporter on the bridge and asks Takashi to turn on the television. There they see that they are protesting against the police, saying that the pandemic is caused by the leak of biological weapons made in America and Japan. The head of the police approaches the one who is leading the revolt and asks him to stop it at once, which he denies and gets shot in the head by the head police. Takashi and Kyoto get approached by Shizuku from behind, naked with just a towel on her, and she acts very much like a pervert with both of them in the end. Takashi picks her up and leaves her near Takagi, where they both go to sleep. Takashi heads down to the kitchen and sees Siko fully naked under the apron, to which Siko says there are no clothes that fit her and the apron seems more comfortable. Rei yells for Takashi to come up the stairs and talk with her. Takashi and Rei start talking, but the only thing Rei is talking about is Hayashi. He stands up and tells her that he can't listen to her nag all the time and that he is not Hayashi but himself, and he had to kill his best friend because of this stupid zombie thing. Rei stands up and discreetly goes near Takashi. They are very close to each other and about to kiss when Takashi stops her, saying that if she goes any further, he will have a boner. Rei laughs and suddenly a dog starts yelling. He goes to Kyoto and asks him what is going on, and he says the situation is bad. Takashi sees all the zombies have come on the road. Everyone was sleeping while Takashi and Hinako were guarding the place, and the rest of the girls were sleeping except Siko. The chaos outside was increasing rapidly and everyone was running away from the bridge. Takashi and Siko have a conversation about saving people in the neighborhood as zombies are approaching. Siko explains to Takashi that it is better if they think about themselves rather than everyone else. Takashi agrees and goes back to the balcony for a lookout. Outside, a father and daughter were running away, looking for shelter from zombies. They found a place but the owners weren't taking them inside. He threatened to smash the door. They finally agreed to open the door and the man was more worried about his daughter than himself. As they opened the door, they stabbed him with a knife in front of his daughter and closed the door again. Takashi and Hinaro were seeing this from afar. The zombies were slowly approaching the girl and her father was dead. Hinaro couldn't keep himself from shooting zombies from the balcony. Takashi and Hinaro weren't able to see that child like that. Takashi decided to help that child and told Siko that he was doing it. Siko agreed and then decided to guard the house. Takashi thought of a plan to save the girl. Takashi goes on the bike with Hinaro, who gives him support from the balcony. He ultimately reaches the girl but he is struck and won't be able to come back on the bike. It keeps fighting. By this time, all the girls had woken up and decided to leave the house. The girls started packing their stuff while Siko was guarding outside. Hinaro was on the balcony helping Takashi fight, and the girls started packing all the stuff. Siko tells Hinaro to take all the supplies he can. Hinaro took the guns and the bullets and came down. Sitting inside, they thought of a plan to save Takashi. Takashi, on the other hand, climbed up the wall to move. The zombies couldn't get a hold of him. Takashi continued to move forward. He almost slipped, but he found his grip. On the other hand, Siko came up with an idea. Shizuka drives towards Takashi, speeding and running over zombies. Siko and Hinaro climb up the roof of the vehicle and are shooting from there as Shizuka stops the car. Siko jumps and starts fighting zombies. Hinaro took the other side shooting zombies with the shotgun. Takashi slowly moves towards them and eventually gets to them. Takashi and the girl enter the vehicle from the roof. As they get into Shizuka's speed and leave the neighborhood, they decide they are getting out of the city. Takashi was feeling good about saving the kid, but he also knew it was just a win. They hadn't won the battle against the zombies yet, and they all continue on their journey. On a global level, America's government officials were also turning into zombies. Even the First Lady turned into a zombie. America was in chaos. The group crosses the river to get to the other side of the city. They halt after crossing the river. Hinaro tells everyone that the girl they rescue name is Alice. The girls decide to change. Shizuka brought clothes with her as they were coming out. On the other hand, Hinaro teaches Takashi how to use a shotgun. Takashi was scared to use a gun as he had never used one before and is used to striking with a bat. Takashi takes up the shotgun after the girl changes. Shizuka asks Takashi and Hinaro to check ahead to see if the area is clear. Takashi and Hinaro check the area and tell Shizuka to come with the car. After this, they decide to go to Takagi's house. Takashi was sitting on the roof of the car. Rei silently looked up. Rei asks him what's wrong, to which he replies that he isn't seeing any helicopters or airplanes like yesterday. Kei replies that they will be alright. She adds that today they haven't seen a single zombie. Takashi agrees, but she said too early that zombies were coming from the front. She tells Shizuka to take the right. Takashi and Rei grab the roof as Shizuka speeds. She takes the right, and there were more zombies. Shizuka turns up the speed and takes a left due to speeding. Rei falls off the vehicle very abruptly, and the zombies are coming. They were pushed into a corner. Takashi jumps off the car and starts shooting with his shotgun. But after a few rounds, the bullets fall from his hand. Hinaro also climbs into the van and starts shooting. Takashi goes to Rei. She was down and wasn't able to stand up. He quickly gets down and starts shooting with Rei's gun. Soon everyone was involved in fighting off the zombies, but they were quickly running out of bullets and power to fight them. The zombies weren't stopping coming and everyone was very tired. Takashi was also feeling helpless. Takashi takes up the shotgun using it as a bat and starts attacking zombies. He and Siko try to get the zombies' attention towards them, but the zombies are still moving toward the girls. Inaro takes Alice up to the car and tells her to cross to the other side of the wire. Alice refuses to leave them. Everyone was very emotional as it looked like the end was near. Just as they thought they were dead, a firefighter rescued them. It was Takagi's mother. Takashi and Siko were alone on the other side of the road. Takashi told Siko that he knew the way around and that they would take a detour to reach the house. Takashi and Siko slowly started moving toward Takagi's house, avoiding roads where there were zombies. Takashi found an automobile showroom and decided to take up biking. Reaching inside, they found a vehicle that could run on land as well as water. Takashi had an idea in his mind. Takashi and Siko took that vehicle. Siko asks Takashi if he has any ideas about what they will be doing. Takashi says that he would use the empirical, speed towards the water and take the car into the water. Siko sitting beside Takashi got all wet because of the jump. Takashi looks back and feels embarrassed. Takashi stops at a sandbank in between the river. Siko tells him that it was a great idea to use a sandbank. Takashi gives her a vest that he had in his bag to wear. Takashi before leaving asks Siko if she likes anyone, to which she replies that she does, and then they continue on their journey to reach Takagi's house in the evening. They reached a park. Siko asked what his plan was, but without listening he landed the car in the fountain in the middle of the park and taped the handle so that the vehicle revolves around the fountain due to that noise. The zombies would go towards the vehicle and they would escape from the east gate, which was close to Takagi's house. Both Akashi and Siko started fighting their way toward the gate. Siko was killing zombies when he suddenly saw children. She couldn't react to it, but she got frozen. Seeing the children, Takashi rushed to her aid and saved her. Takashi and Siko decide to rest for the night. After changing, Takashi asks Siko what happened over there, to which she replies that she felt bad. She further explains that the reason she liked a guy but didn't convey feelings to him was because she was afraid of what he would think of a murderer. Takashi was shocked to hear this. Siko continues and tells him about the incident when she as a kid murdered a guy who was forcing him on her. Takashi replies that he understands and that's not such a big deal, but then Siko tells her that she enjoyed it, as she let him do it deliberately. The next day both of them leave the house, but there were zombies still outside the place. Takashi saw that Siko was still feeling afraid and wasn't shying away to fight. Takashi goes to her and tells her that he doesn't judge her for the way she feels. Siko feels better and goes on her spree, killing all the zombies. Siko and Takashi were about to reach the house. Siko asks Takashi if she would take responsibility, to which he replies yes, he would. Takashi and Siko reach the house. Everyone gets to finally reunite. Everyone, including Buta, is very happy. They were finally having their first normal day after a long time. Takashi hears a loud argument happening and goes up to meet Takagi. Takagi was very annoyed and pissed off by her mother. Takashi tries to talk to her, but she walks away without listening. Takashi then meets Takagi's mother, and her mother tells Takashi about the situation and asks him to make Takagi understand that Takagi goes to the workshop where Hinaro was fixing the shotgun. Takagi house was a large estate where many servants were present, which weren't treating any one of them like adults. Takagi tells Hinaro that she thinks of leaving the place. Hinaro was confused about why she wants to leave such a safe place. Takagi calls everyone to meet. When everyone came, they ask about the reason why does she want to leave the place. Takagi tells them about the condition of the worker in the power plant. Takashi tries to make her understand, but she disagrees and starts disrespecting her parents. Takashi controlled it for some time, but eventually he got pissed off about the way she was addressing her parents and argues with her. Takagi finally understands and agrees. Just after this, there was a loud buzz in the estate as Takagi's father was arriving. Takagi's father was the head of the Takagi's royal family. He with him brings a government that was recently bitten by a zombie. The people of the city who were safe and in the estate all gathered. Takagi's father publicly executed the official, giving everyone the message to show that to kill anyone, even if it is one's family member, to survive. Hinaro and the gang were looking from above. Hinaro says that it is insufficient for them. After some time, Alice comes up to Takashi, saying that Hinaro feels like their bond has softened up and he should go talk to him. Takashi agrees. On his way down, Takashi remembers his days in middle school and spring break. When he reaches down, Alice comes to her running, saying that Hinaro is in trouble. Takashi and Alice rush to the scene and Hinaro was rounded up by members who were telling him to give his guns to them, saying that a child shouldn't have those. Hinaro was reluctant to give them the guns. Takagi's father arrives on the scene and asks him what he has been doing at that moment. Takashi arrives at the scene, telling everyone that Hinaro has been protecting his daughter. Even Takagi and Siko arrive, taking Hinaro's side. Takagi, Takashi, and Hinaro go to the camps where people were there who were not happy with the way Takagi's family was operating. They try to convince the people that the violent way is their way to survive now. But the people don't agree. Moreover, knowing that they were high school students, they dismissed them, saying that they were just kids drunk with power and violence. Takagi was very angry about the way it turned out. Takashi was also in sync with Takagi, but Hinaro says that he understands the point of view they were expressing. Hinaro further tries to make Takagi understand that humans don't see what they don't want to see. When Takagi finally sees Hinaro's point of view and what he is saying, even Takashi agrees. Takagi laughs at him, but Takashi says that at least he is acknowledging it. To which Takagi replies, that is the reason he is their leader. On the other hand, Takagi's father met Siko. She was the daughter of brilliant swordsmen. Takagi's father offers her a sword and Siko refuses to take it without a reason. Takagi's father tells her that it is a gift to her for protecting her daughter. Siko asks why he does not keep Takagi with him. Takashi was in his room thinking about the leader thing Takagi said when Rei enters the room. Takashi tells her about how he sees the group like him, Hinaro and Siko being fighters, Tagaki being intelligent, and Suzuki being the healer of the group. Listening to this, Rei tells her about the girls and how they think she goes on confessing her love, saying that she can't live without her. When she comes out, she finds Siko waiting outside and says that she understood that someone was inside. So, she didn't knock on the door. As all this was happening, a van with students and a teacher reached the other side of the town. They all came to Takagi's estate for shelter. Rei saw the teacher rush outside, was the one who possibly failed her grade due to a feud with his father. She rushes to kill him. The teacher tries to get his way out. Rei was backed by people at the estate, but Rei lets him go and decides not to kill him. The teacher and the students were not allowed in and were ordered to leave the estate. The gang also leaves to find Takashi's parents. When everything was happening, America's Navy set off missiles toward Japan. Japan's Navy fended off the attack by the Americans, but one missile exploded, leading to an electric and electromagnetic depletion due to which every electrical device stopped working. Shizuka was talking to her friend when this happened, and even the teacher's van stopped working and eventually crashed into the barrier, almost killing him. The zombies also grew in number and size and all means of communication failed. Takagi tells everyone it was an EMP attack and someone has exploded a nuclear missile at a higher altitude which caused the Crompton effect, which makes all electronics useless. As Takagi was telling this soldier, the barricade had fallen and the zombies are coming. The soldiers quickly shut down the estate gates, but they couldn't hold much longer and the zombies entered the Takashi. A group shot them down, but they soon realized that they could not withstand Takagi's father telling them to leave and continue there while he protects the state and saves people. Takagi was reluctant to leave but, in the end, agreed, and they moved towards their car. The car was able to withstand the EMP attack but needed a few repairs. So, Takashi and everyone kept killing zombies until finally, the car started. Suzuki, behind the wheels, speeds off running over the zombies. Takagi's father was finally relieved and fought with more strength. They decided to leave the city. Takagi asked where they were heading, to which Takashi replied that they were going to look for his and Rei's parents. Siko adds that they will be on the highway soon. Upon reaching the highway, they find more and more zombies. Takashi, Hinaro, and Siko were ready for it as always, and jumped off the car to attack them. So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. So, like this video for a cookie, and subscribe for lots of cookies.